For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian, and this is the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorials.com, memorials that matter, and Lilligards, your local Mahindra dealer on Highway 13 West, Wahpeton. The suspect in Saturday morning's shooting in Frazee that left a man dead is claiming he shot the victim in self-defense. At around 1:20 Saturday morning, the Becker County Sheriff's Office received a report of an adult male being shot at Acorn Lake Trailer Park in Frazee. Emergency personnel responded and attempted life-saving efforts. However, 31-year-old Arlen Ray Bergstrom Jr. of Detroit Lakes was pronounced deceased at the scene. According to Ottertail County Sheriff records, 31-year-old Willis Charles McDonald called dispatch around half an hour later and reported that he had been part of the altercation in the trailer park, had shot Bergstrom Jr. in self-defense, and was at his residence on East Weimer Lake Road in Ottertail County. McDonald was arrested without incident at around 2 o'clock, 40 minutes after the initial report. According to court documents, McDonald was later interviewed by the Minnesota BCA and the Becker County Sheriff's Office, where he stated that he had met a woman when he and his family were at the Becker County Fair on Friday. The woman allegedly messaged him later asking if he wanted to come over to her residence in Acorn Trailer Park for a cigarette. When he arrived, the woman came out to his car, with McDonald stating that they were visiting and having a cigarette. McDonald says that soon after, he saw Bergstrom Jr. outside his vehicle window, and the woman told him to roll up his window. Bergstrom then allegedly broke through McDonald's window and began punching him. McDonald says he feared for his life and reached for his handgun at the back of the vehicle. He also noted that he did not know or recognize Bergstrom, and that Bergstrom did not say anything to him during the encounter. Bergstrom then allegedly reached for McDonald's handgun, and McDonald pulled the trigger and nothing happened. Bergstrom allegedly kept hitting McDonald while he cocked the firearm and fired again. After the second shot, Bergstrom stumbled and fell to the ground. McDonald says he then threw the gun into the back seat and the woman told him to leave. McDonald admitted that he had not attempted to escape or leave the vehicle, that his permit to carry was expired, and that he had drank approximately 4 beers at the demolition derby earlier in the day. He stated that he fled the scene to his residence and called law enforcement to turn himself in after speaking with his sister. The woman that was with McDonald during the incident was also interviewed by officials, and her description of events largely matched his. She confirmed that McDonald and Bergstrom did not know each other and had never met. Bergstrom's body was transported for autopsy, in which the medical examiner determined that the cause of death was homicide. McDonald is facing charges of second-degree murder without intent and first-degree manslaughter. At around 2:34 Saturday afternoon, the Ottertail County Sheriff's Office received a report of a drowning on the northwest side of Ottertail Lake. A 63-year-old male, later identified as David Cantrud of Fergus Falls, was on a pontoon with family members when he fell into the water while trying to retrieve a hat. Occupants from a nearby pontoon assisted in recovering Cantrud from the water. Resuscitation efforts were ultimately unsuccessful, and Cantrud was pronounced deceased at the scene. He was not wearing a life jacket at the time of the incident. At around 12:56 Saturday afternoon, the Fergus Falls Police Department responded to a parking lot to a report of a man being hit with a car by his ex. According to court documents, the victim and his girlfriend, 30-year-old Veronica Raleen Gast of Fergus Falls, were driving to therapy to work on their relationship. The couple had reportedly been arguing all day, and the victim felt like the relationship wasn't going to work out, so he requested that Gast return him to their residence. Instead, Gast stopped the car in the traffic lane and demanded that the victim get out. The victim exited the vehicle and walked in front of the car to get to the sidewalk and to walk home. According to the victim, while he was walking in front of the car, Gast locked eyes with him and she floored the vehicle to run him over. The victim turned his body away from the car, going over the vehicle's hood and striking the front windshield with his back, shattering the windshield. He also ended up with a laceration to his right elbow. Gast told officers that the two had been arguing all morning, and when the argument escalated in the car, she pulled over. She said that the victim then exited the vehicle and began walking toward the sidewalk, so she drove away. Gast alleged that the victim ended up walking in front of her as he walked away, that she believed the victim would walk on the sidewalk, and that she was not paying much attention as she was upset and just wanted to leave. Gast then admitted that she hit the victim with her vehicle. She said that she did not stop right away due to shock, but she did let off the gas. Gast denied making eye contact with the victim before hitting him. She also agreed that the victim had hit the windshield with his back, but claimed that the crack was from the victim punching it afterwards. Gast was arrested and brought to the Ottertail County Detention Facility, facing second-degree assault and multiple lesser charges. This past Saturday, a tragic accident occurred at a residence on South Mill Street in Fergus Falls, resulting in the death of a local man who was found trapped underneath his vehicle. The Fergus Falls Police Department responded to the scene at approximately 12:48 after a neighbor reported discovering the man under his mid-sized Honda. Sergeant Nathan Lean of the police department explained that it appears the man had been working on his vehicle when the jack supporting it slipped, causing the car to fall and pin him underneath. The Midwest Medical Examiner's Office has requested the body for further examination. Tuesday was a crucial day for local government, as it was the day filing closed for Fergus Falls mayor, city council, and school board positions, as well as the Minnesota primary. The official candidates for mayor and city council are as follows. For mayor, Anthony Hicks and Scott Kwame. For Ward 1, Jim Fish, Darren Appert, and Jacob Bittner. For Ward 2, Lonnie Ballweg, Lee Oswald, and Mark Layton. For Ward 3, Nate Cundy and Mike Mortensen. And for Ward 4, Laurel Kildee. There are 9 candidates running for the 3 open school board seats: Zachary Bloomberg, Christina Bradley Kahn, Jenny Christensen, Christina Glass, Kelly Graff, Arden Chono, Tim Nansen, Micah Naramani, and Stephen Vigasa. In the primary, Kurt Mortensen and Greg Anderson were chosen to move forward in the race for the District 3 Ottertail County Commissioner, and Fergus Falls Mayor Ben Shire and Sean Sullivan will be going head-to-head for the District 5 Ottertail County Commissioner race. The general election will take place on Tuesday, November 5th. At around 1:07 Monday afternoon, the Minnesota State Patrol responded to a crash on Highway 78 by Thumper Pond Resort in Ottertail. According to officials, a couple from Ottertail were heading south on Highway 78, and a man from East Grand Forks was taking a left from Thumper Pond Drive to go north on Highway 78 when the vehicles collided. All 3 individuals were transported to Astera Health for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. In a late-night accident on Tuesday, a motorcyclist sustained non-life-threatening injuries after losing control of his bike on a curve at the intersection of 430th Street and 233rd Avenue in rural Pelican Rapids. According to reports, the male rider was not wearing a helmet and may have struck a guardrail. The rider was conscious at the scene and was bleeding from the face, but did not suffer life-threatening injuries. He was transported to Detroit Lakes for further medical evaluation. The motorcycle was extensively damaged and deemed a total loss. The incident remains under investigation. Beginning Monday, August 19th, crews will be resurfacing Mabel, Adolphus, Sheridan, and Sherman as noted in this map. The project is expected to take 2 weeks and consists of removing and replacing concrete near intersections, removing the existing road pavement, and installing new pavement. During the project, the streets will remain open. The city of Fergus Falls asks drivers to proceed slowly and observe no parking signs. On Wednesday, U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar visited Pioneer Kids to experience the unique hybrid of daycare and assisted living facility.
Pioneer Kids is a daycare on the site of Pioneer Care, providing accessible childcare for the employees of the facility while they work.
Started from an employee survey that Pioneer Care did, and wanting to see what they could do for their employees, and childcare was a big issue, and retainment of people finding childcare. And that all just came into intuition, and Pioneer Kids opened up.
One of Pioneer Kids' unique features is the intergenerational activities.
We do intergenerational activities too, so when we go over to the care center, the cottages, employees can see their children interact with the residents, and the residents interacting with the kids. It's just a feel good, and they can always, I get pictures of the parents, like when we're walking the kids over, they're like, oh, we see a bunch of kids, it just makes everybody's day to see the kids.
Senator Klobuchar met with Director of Pioneer Kids Lisa Vota, Pioneer Care Administrator Sarah Watkins, and other staff and leadership from Pioneer Care, and received a brief tour of the facility. Senator Klobuchar met with the kids and spent some time talking and connecting with them about their time at Pioneer Kids. Afterwards, the senator held a roundtable with those in attendance and discussed the unique aspects of Pioneer Kids.
The concept in general, though, of trying to build and share facilities, share things, even if it's not solo daycare, even if it's not, I think is a really good idea, because of the, the employees can actually go back and forth between the two. sides if there's a need. It's just more practical. It's kind of building scale with two different populations. That's it all.
Right.
So it's trying to look at, for today's needs, the way we're having these hybrid models with government and private, the way, Hormel is big enough to help build one, as did Marvin Windows, although they got some government money for that. And then you've got other towns like Perham, where the companies are joining together and expanding. And then you've got things like this. I just think the state has to step back and look at the rules and I think pilots are often a smart way to do it. Childcare weirdly could help us with housing. It's like synergistic, because there's starting to be a lot of excitement about these models and what's happening. Then you put more incentives in place on that, because it's a bipartisan issue, it really is, because so many rural areas are hurt more.
After the meeting, the group joined the kids outside and walked over to the Pioneer Care cottages, where Senator Klobuchar got to observe the kids spend some time with the residents before the rain shut down the activities.
This was great. Love the visit, love the idea. Happy seniors, happy kids. We've got to use this model all around the state and around the country.
During discussions, Senator Klobuchar said that she would be pushing for more funding for childcare and housing programs in the new year. This has been the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonемemorials.com, memorials that matter, and Lilligards, your local Mahindra dealer on Highway 13 West, Wahpeton. For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian. Subscribe to the KBRF Radio YouTube channel and tune in every Friday at 12:30 to stay up to date with local news. Get more news at KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.